Hello and welcome to another episode of West Underground. Today we are doing something different. We're having our third comedian on our little podcast, and it's none other than Billy Darcy. The man who's probably been making you guys laugh on TikTok, and if you don't know who he is, you will now. So let's just start off, mate, and just ask, like, what was the decision that made you want to be a stand-up comedian? What did it for you?
Oh, lads, firstly, what an honor. Third comedian. I thought you were going to say first one ever, but that's okay. Who were the first two?
So because we're a music podcast, like that's how we started. We had a guy come on, Dave Eastgate, and he's still a comedian, but also does a bit of music stuff.
Yeah.
And then that kind of segued and opened the door a little bit. And we're like, man, why haven't we interviewed comedians before? It's I feel like comedy and music kind of border on the same like wavelength a little bit.
For sure.
It's easier for us to interview comedians than it is to interview like actors. And I feel like when you get into acting, that's a whole different world altogether.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Well, I think there is a thing with comedy and music because we play like all the same venues, and it's very much like a similar journey on the gigs and stuff. And as you go through it. So I reckon there's definitely a bit of a kinship there, I would say.
Yeah, for sure. And also I feel like sometimes on the same wavelength as well. Like when you sit down to write your comedy special, you're obviously sitting there with, kind of waiting for inspiration, or also then just kind of writing down ideas all the time and noting it down, just like as if you were doing song lyrics and stuff like that.
Yeah. I think musicians are probably braver than comedians though, really.
No.
I can't agree.
No, I can't agree either.
Really? No, but like with what I feel like if you're writing a song and people are like, talking about all this wild stuff, and I'm just like, oh, I missed the bus the other day. That was pretty wild. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you mean, but I think it's braver because they're kind of getting up and they're singing, they're singing songs, and it's kind of like you're standing behind, you've got music kind of behind you, you've got a band, you're standing with other people usually, where you are just in front of the room of people. There's no kind of music going on, you're the center focus, the light is just on you, and you're talking about like whatever's on your conscious.
All right, then I'm happy to agree. Comedians are in fact braver than musicians, so there you go. But I don't know. I don't know if you brought this up with Dave Eastgate, because he's like a rock and roll comedian almost. Like he's like shredding the guitar up there and stuff. But they always say, and it's definitely true for me, that like most comedians would want to be like rock stars, but we just can't sing. If I could sing, I would love to be like a front man, like 1,000,000%. It would be sick. But like I can't sing at all, and I never will be able to. So that's that, Next thing you know, I'm 7 years old in primary school, just ripping a few zingers from the back row. I thought we could be onto something here, lads, hey?
Oh man, well, like you're still young, man. Just go get a few singing lessons while you're over in, Manly. I'm sure there's a bunch of good singing teachers around.
I'd probably give some bloke $3,000 and still sound friggin' terrible by the end. So I don't know. With singing, I reckon you either have it or you don't.
Yeah, but I used to believe that, and then I saw that there's people that have actually like trained their voice and were like disciplined with themselves and got better. And then I've also seen people that had the ability from the start and they're just fucking amazing. So
well, which brings me back to my comedy career. No, I'm kidding. Just a bit of banter. But yeah, so what was the question?
Oh, I forgot.
How did I sort of get into this?
Oh yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So it's a good question, but I never really have a very good answer. Like I tried comedy once when I was 18 at an open mic, but I just did it just to do it, just to try it once, because I wasn't thinking about pursuing it properly. But then I actually didn't do it for like, I think another 2 years. Like it just wasn't something that, I thought it was cool. I did it once, but it wasn't really something I wanted to like pursue full time. But then in the following 2 years, like I just didn't really know what else to do. So then I kind of just sort of got like, do you know what I mean? Like there was nothing else really coming up. Like I lived in England for a year playing cricket. And then when I was over there, because I dropped out of uni, then moved to England. And when I was in England, I was trying to work out like what to do with my life. And then I was like, dude, I think I actually want to get back into comedy and give it a crack. But then I also like changed uni degrees and did like an arts degree just to keep mum out of my face a bit, you know?
Yeah.
So I went back to uni, but I was really like within 6 months of going back to uni, or 3 months. I don't know why, but the second time I went back to comedy, it really like like stuck for me, you know? So then like 6 months later, I was at uni and I finished that degree. It was like media.
Yeah.
But I always knew, I was like, oh man, this degree is trash. I always knew that I wanted to pursue it from about then. So that was about 6 years ago, I think. So that's been in ever since. And then, dude, once you get into it and you start making friends with like the other comedians, it becomes like its own like world that you're now a part of. So it's sick. Like, yeah, it's great. I love it.
Oh man, I'm glad you did. And it looks like it's like really your career is taken off in a large way. Like you got a good, you got a good start.
Yeah. I can only assume it would appear that way to the naked eye from looking from the outside, that I am about to explode, but I can assure you that is not the case. Like I like music, like COVID just fucked comedy, dude. Like the dream is over to a certain extent, because I would say there's probably like a quarter of the gigs in Sydney for comedy as there used to be. And then, and it's just like, it's been like a crap 2 years for comedy in general, just like music. Like I've had like 4 tours canceled. And then, because with, you're booking stuff for 3 months in advance. So you're thinking, which was fine before, 3 months from now, what's the weather going to be doing? Who gives a fuck, But now it's like April next year is the Melbourne Comedy Festival. You have to book that in now. And it's like, well, what the hell is the world going to look like in April? And you got to pay for venues and put money down up front. And then so it's just been wild. But yeah, I think comedy will return, and hopefully then you'll see that explosion of Billy Darcy you were just referring to. Hopefully.
We have no doubts. We have
no doubts. I love that.
I said, is the money in comedy in touring, or is the money in comedy in like, because all the in the specials and stuff like that, and in TV, like in media? Like, I'm just wondering, is it from you kind of going city to city to city? Is that how comedians make the most of their money, or is it the actual trying to get TV deals and stuff like that?
Yeah, I would say in Australia specifically, the bulk of the money is from touring, because every city has its own comedy festival. And then, once you sort of if you get a good agent, and then you're playing the right venues, and they're sort of pushing you that way, then you're sort of snowballing with the festivals, and you just you just see comedians get like bigger and bigger every year.
Yeah.
So I'd say it's mostly in the touring. Like in Australia, as far as comedy, there's not a whole lot going on. Like there's like probably, there's like 4 or 5 radio jobs, and then the ABC does like majority of the television. But it's like there's not really like that many crazy opportunities going. I would say it's mostly in touring for sure.
Yeah.
I suppose that's what's different about you, Billy, is that you've kind of embraced YouTube and TikTok as well. Moving forward. Because I know that's how I kind of discovered your comedy, was because on my For You page on TikTok, I got recommended this one about dating in Australia, and you were saying like no one actually dates, you just kind of invite them to the pub at like 10:30. Your mate is a predator, and it's something to that degree. Like so I with all my mates, and they were chuffed. They thought it was fucking hilarious because it's so true.
Sick. Yeah, well, I think TikTok's mad. Like people that like rip on TikTok, it's like the wildest platform ever. Like some of my videos get views that like you could never get them on any other platform. So it's like super handy. And I think, yeah, it's good to be able to have that stuff because, you know, especially during COVID and that, where there's like no gigs and like, you know, you might have nothing going on. Well, now you can just sort of, like, I was really lucky. I recorded an hour in May of my Sydney shows. So when we went back into lockdown, I had like all this material to release. So like TikTok and YouTube and Instagram, it's so good. It's like you can get like, I didn't do any gigs for like 3 months, but you know, I was still kind of going well. You know, like my online stuff was still ticking along. So it definitely makes it feel like you haven't wasted any time. And it kind of gives you a tool because, you know, there's like 2 or 3 major comedy management companies in Australia, I would say. Yeah. And if they're not really fucking with you, then like you're kind of on your own. So like TikTok is just such a great tool because now you're like, oh man, we're kind of like going all right here. Whereas otherwise no one would see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So TikTok gives you that opportunity, but I think it goes both ways with TikTok because like it's so good. You can get like so many views and stuff.
Yeah.
But then also like, I don't know about anyone else, but people are just so mean on TikTok. It's like wild, dude. One time, this is true. A couple months ago, I posted a TikTok in the morning and it was like a little podcast clip. It was like nothing controversial at all. And then I was getting just lit up on TikTok so hard. People were messaging me on Instagram saying, dude, you got to check your TikTok because it was like 4, you know, I don't know how many comments, like 100 comments of just everyone being like, you fucking suck. Like, what is this? Like, it was about like the Olympics. So I don't know if people get fired up about the Olympics, but yeah, like I think TikTok, yeah, it's good. It's good. But yeah, people will light you up on there as well because there's not really any accountability. You know, they're just like horse rider 1, 2, 3, 4. And then that's that. So
I have a theory about why that is because I feel like TikTok's demographic is like younger people. So you remember back in the day when you would go on like PS3 like chat rooms or Xbox chat rooms and you have all those kids like swearing. Now they've gone from that to TikTok and now they're just typing away at you.
Yeah, it's a bit of that, yeah, for sure. But I try not to go on TikTok too much because I don't know about you guys. I find like TikTok is like Instagram on like steroids for like scrolling.
100%. Like
if I'm like got 5 minutes, if I jump on TikTok and then like 20 minutes later, I'm like, oh, I blacked out. What happened? I'm looking at like some Korean guys chopping down a tree. I'm like, what even is this? You know?
Yeah.
And you've just been scrolling for like 25 minutes. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's the real sunken place. You know? What's that?
Get out.
Yeah. It's like that, you know?
It's like get out. Yeah. So I just try and post before I either get sucked in by someone else's video or someone comments that I'm in fact a fucking loser. So, you know, I try to get in and get out with TikTok, but it's a very fun app. It's a very fun app.
Oh man, like have you ever replied to one or have you just been like, I'm not going to do it because if I give in to one, then it's just going to start like, you know, like arguing with the people.
No, because I don't know. I think it depends. Maybe if you get in there early, but sometimes like I'll post a video and then like, you know, I'll check it like that afternoon because I like go to work or whatever. And also I just try and stay off it in general. So like, because it's just such a, you know, a time hole. But then, you know, then I'll check it and like the top comment is like, this is so unfunny, but it's already got like 200 likes. So it's going to be very hard to push up against that momentum that this young commenter has, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah. I just try to just don't even worry about it.
Yeah, man. I think that's the best decision. I just don't know how some people have the time to like I wonder too, like when you even Facebook sometimes I go like when anyone posts something, you just click on the comments and you see some people just have the time to be able to write not paragraphs, but fucking novels for comments.
Yeah. I think anyone who comments on stuff like,
what are you doing?
You know, if I tag you lads in something and I'm like, check this out, that's one thing, you know, tag away. Yeah. But people who just reply to no one, like they're just out here like giving out a double dose of fucking Jason from Who Gives a Fuck.
Yeah.
You know? And it's just like no one's prompted them. And it's like the most toxic thoughts. It's like, this is wild. If I asked you, then fair enough. But like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
They reply to like a video or a clip from the Today Show or some shit. Like Carl Stefanovic is definitely reading this.
Yeah. Some guy, he's like, Carl, you son of a bitch. I've been a fan for the last 15 years, but you just lost me. As if like, as if there will be any sort of consequences for this whatsoever.
Oh.
Like Carl Stefanovic's just reading these from his $1 million mansion. I think his wife is 20 years younger than him. I don't think you're going to get into his mental state. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And if it is, he's probably laying in the bathtub with a bottle of champagne next to him going, babe, have a look at this.
Yeah.
Look at this
100%. Yeah.
Now, like, dude, you have like a normal job as well to do in comedy. So when you go to the office, do they treat you like a superstar at work, or they just treat you as regular old Billy?
No. It was kind of weird at this job because I was working a casual job before COVID and like doing comedy. Like I was kind of like 2/3 comedy income and then a third casual income. And then I was at the Adelaide Fringe last year, and like I was doing my week of shows there, and then the next week I would come back to Sydney, and then the next week after that I'll go back to Melbourne for a month and do the whole festival.
Yeah.
But then I was in Adelaide, and it was like the Friday show. They were like, we didn't even know if our own Friday shows were going to happen on the day. It was when COVID was first happening, and you're like, what even is this?
Yeah.
But then it's actually a pretty funny story because, and then I did my Saturday show, and then flew back to Sydney, and on the Saturday, they cancelled the whole Melbourne and Sydney comedy festivals. Yeah. And that was like 30 shows for me. So, but then I had this casual job up my sleeve. So I was like, oh, that's okay. I'll just go back to Sydney and work until this thing sorts itself out. I don't know what's going on, you know? But then I flew back to Sydney and was immediately fired from my casual job as well due to COVID. So it was a double barrel for me. It was pretty good. But yeah, so I was working a little bit, and then I was unemployed for like 6 months last year.
Yeah.
So then then my mate got me this office job, but he told them all that I was a comedian, and like, mate, people don't care. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, they're living La Vida Loca. It doesn't matter if I'm a comedian or not. Like, and yeah, it was kind of weird though, because on my second day at this office job, my boss, the guy who got fired, the guy who hired me, got fired. Oh, shit. And it was like I hadn't even unboxed my pens, and this guy's like, you know, it was like the dramatic thing where he came out of his office and he was like, well, the suits upstairs have had their final word. That's the end of me. Like, and like, it was really, really, but then I ended up writing like 6 minutes about this stupid prick. But it was kind of weird because then all the people from my office came to see my show.
Yeah.
And I had like 6 minutes shitting on our former boss.
Yeah.
And so I think maybe a few people from my office were like, let's just fucking watch our P's and Q's around this Darcy bloke, because he's going around town telling everyone about everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think if anything, it made them like me a little less. But but you know, all's fair in art or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a bit weird at times. Yeah.
Do you cop like, if like, you know, like I play music, man, and like if you tell people you do that, right? Somebody's like, oh, could you play me a song or something like that?
Oh yeah, dude, all that stuff. Like, tell me a joke right now, and it's like, you want to just break into a bit of stand up at this bus stop. Like, I hate that, dude. I hate it all.
Oh, it's the fucking worst, man.
Yeah. So I've just been promoting this show recently. I was chatting to you boys about it before, but do you guys get this one with your music where you put up on your thing, hey, everyone come to the show, rah, rah, and then maybe a friend of yours or someone misses out on the show and is like, oh, you should have messaged me that the tickets were on sale. And it's like, should I also pay for the ticket and deliver it to your house? You fucking clown. Like, you know what I mean? And they're like, oh no, it's like some guy I went to primary school with. He's like, Billy, I missed out on tickets. I'm like, we're not close. Like, you know what I mean? Like, people just want like a personal, they just want everything coming straight to them. They just love it.
Yeah. But it also, had you been promoting the shows for usually like a month beforehand?
Yes, that's the other thing. Yes, thank you. The other thing is they're like, oh, Billy, what the hell? I missed out on tickets. And it's like, oh, that's okay. I've just been begging people to come for about 6 weeks. So felt like I did my bit, you know? Freaking can't give these things away. Now it finally sells out, and every bloke you've ever met wants a ticket. It's always the way.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Like, people have to, other people have to see that other people want to go to your show before they start jumping in.
Yep, 100%. So yeah, there's definitely a bit of that.
Yeah, man. And Oh, I was going to say something before. I feel like comedy is very close to music. I think, but you were talking before about how you are more braver, but I think for you, I think comedy is slightly easier than music because you don't have to practice or rehearse with four dudes like several times a week for a month before one gig. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of on.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. I think anything is easier by yourself,
Yeah,
like podcasting, music, comedy. As soon as you get a group, it definitely becomes harder.
yeah, 100%.
But I'm jealous of musicians in that, like you guys can write songs and practice by yourselves,
Yeah,
whereas I have to go and do it in front of strangers.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it can be, yeah, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like that. And, but yeah, there's definitely heaps of overlap between, it's just like that gig
Yeah,
lifestyle, I think.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's definitely, I mean, you got to be a bit of a renegade to do either, because it's not like you sign up at the Music Factory for 60 grand a year to play bass in some band. You know, after tax, here's your superannuation. Like, there's no certainty whatsoever. Like, and everyone in the industry, I don't know about music, but is everyone a fucking weirdo in that industry as well?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. In comedy, like people in positions of power are like mentally ill. And you're like, this is crazy. This is insane.
I think that was like the first thing that I realized when I was a kid, kind of becoming like going through, from 16 to like playing music around Sydney, is like you kind of get this insight of who does what, and then you get to meet them for the first time, and everyone's told you, oh, this person does this, and you think you're meeting some like, oh, very nice to meet you, young man. But it's not that case at all. It's just everything's really, really loose.
Yeah. And also, like, it's not like there's a university to go and become a music manager or like a venue booker or something. It's usually just some guy.
Yeah.
Who's just like hung around the longest.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
But I
wild.
also like that as well, because you don't have like some fuckwit, from like, it feels a bit more like personable and like, easier sometimes than it does, because you don't have to deal with a whole HR team sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. And when that person really loves music or comedy, and they're just there because they love it, not just because they, stumbled into this thing.
Yeah,
it's the
exactly
best.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's heaps of great. I feel like I'm just shitting on the whole industry. There's heaps of people in the comedy industry I absolutely adore. So
yeah. No, but I definitely see the point, man. Like that, nobody is certainly going, oh, I became this because my parents were forcing me to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
But do you have a question here?
I'd love to hear some absolute gems of stories from a few of your shows.
Okay.
I've always seen the clips on like TikTok and whatnot, and you've spoken about them on Get Around Me, which, by the way, I do commend you for, because you talk for a long time, just spinning yarns about your own life weekly.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I find that
whenever I talk to,
impressive. There was one episode in particular where you talked about going to Orange for a show.
Okay.
And I laughed so hard that I woke my mum up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I for some reason, because I think we had been to Orange, like the week before, like we had just gone, like, what did we go for? Like some family reunion or something.
Yeah,
and like everything you were saying was like fucking pinpoint true.
Oh,
I just thought it was
I don't even remember that Orange story, to be honest, but yeah, I got a couple of good yarns. So one time I was hanging out with one of my mates yesterday. Actually, we went on this like big tour with all my mates like 4 years ago. It was called the Young Guns Comedy Tour.
Yeah.
And, don't look at the books for that tour because we lost shitloads of money. The memories we made along the way, I would argue, are far more valuable. It was so good. It was like me and 5 of my mates are all comedians. And we just jumped into like a bus and started up at Byron and then like zigzagged all the way back down to Sydney. I think we did like 15 shows or something over like 3 weeks. So much fun. But we had like some pretty rough ones. Like we were in Grafton and like we had different deals with each of the pubs. So for this deal, it was like we did no tickets. Like it was like a free show. So we didn't know how many people were coming. And, we like we should have been playing rooms to about 50 people, like maximum capacity. But we rock up to this Grafton pub, and this room, to put it this way, the prior weekend, Tiesto had played this room.
Yeah.
Okay. So we were just like, I think it's seated about 300, and it was like some huge stage. We are complete no-name comedians. No one has ever heard of us. This is a huge booking error. It's like when you walk on stage, it says like Billy Darcy and like flames on this like huge LED screen, like wild. So we get to Grafton a night early, and we're in the beer garden, and there's an all-in brawl in the beer garden, like the whole pub. I've never seen anything like it. People are just running in. There's like 3 security guards, and they just like, you just see them throw their hands up. They're like, I can't deal with this. This is way too much. And then like you can spot the city boys, like we're the only ones not throwing hands. Yeah. Like I think one of the lads is like calling his mum. Like we're just like, what the fuck? And Grafton's a pretty rough town. It's like a prison town, and I'm pretty sure it's like a, you know, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure they say like everyone in West Grafton is like racist. They told us to stay out of the western part. So it was pretty full on. And the next night we rock up, and out of like the 300 seats, we've sold 11 tickets, or 11 people have turned up. So it's like, Jesus Christ, this is not good. 7 of them were the owner of the pub and his family. And then 2 of them were a couple we met the night before ourselves. So really we've sold like 2 tickets, and it's crazy. Like, and also I was headlining, and I had to do like half an hour. Like this is just suicide at this point. Yeah. Like, so we crack into the show. So bad. It's a horrendous show. And were you guys expecting me to be like, most electric show? Like,
I think it's just the honesty that gets me.
Yeah. Dude. Like, and you're painting the picture well in my head. Like I'm just imagining this fucking huge room, no one there. Yeah. And you just see all the empty seats before you get up there.
Oh yeah. But then here's the thing. So this woman starts heckling like all the lads in the first half. But here's the thing. No one could say anything to her because it's the owner of the pub's wife. So she's sitting next to the owner just going like, you fucking suck, you losers. Like, and then all my mates are up there just going, mate, it's the owner's. He's like, thank you, ma'am. Like, we didn't want to, because we've already like, the show's a disaster. Like the owner probably hates us, you know. He could have booked Tiesto for a second night. That would have been a much better option. Yeah. So then this woman is just teeing off on everyone. Yeah. And then I went up there at the end, and you know, I was trying to do some crowd work and stuff. I think like some more people came in. We might have been pushing sort of 15 to 17 at this point. So, you know, there's a bit of extra oomph in the room, as they say. And anyway, so I'm just trying to do a bit of crowd work. And then this lady is just like, shut up and do some jokes. And I was just like, and keep in mind, I've seen her just absolutely run through all of my best mates here. Yeah. Like just tearing strips off them. Yeah. So I just went, oh, okay, sorry, do a joke. And then I do a joke and she interrupts the joke. And then I just went, in my head, it was so clear, burn it to the ground, Darcy, fuck this chick. You know, we're never coming back to Grafton again. Yeah. Don't even worry about it. So now I'm just teeing off on this chick. I'm just like, you think you're so cool. It's only because you're fucking the owner of this place that you're getting away with any of this. Okay. Yeah. And then like, now it's just on for young and old. Like the wife is yelling at me. I'm yelling at her. The other 12 people, ironically, are having a pretty good time at this point, which they weren't before. So there's a bit of momentum there. But then we ended up we did finish the show, and the owner's son came up. This is one of my favorite like things I've seen, I think. So we're having beers after the show, and fair play to the owner. He was like, I think he respected us for just doing the show, no matter what, even though it was horrendous. Yeah. I think he just appreciated that we just gave it a go and tried our best. Yeah. So afterwards, he was like, boys, as many beers as you want, go nuts, you know, this sort of stuff. So it was kind of cool. We were having a good time now. Yeah. And then the owner's son, he's like this big fat country bloke, and he comes out and he goes up to my mate Rowan, who's on the tour, and he goes, Rowan had this suicide joke at the time. Can't remember how it went, but it was really, really good, really good. And it was obviously pretty dark, but it was hilarious. And this country bloke comes up to him and goes to my mate Rowan. He goes, "Mate, we don't talk about that shit out here, okay? You city boys don't know what you're talking about." He goes, "Don't ever do that joke again." To my mate Rowan. Yeah, and he's probably got about 70 kilos on Rowan.
Jesus.
And Rowan's hilarious. He's a big old stoner, Rowan. And he just takes a sip of his beer. My mate Rowan just leans in and goes, "Mate, I don't give a fuck what you have to say or think. Now fuck off."
Yeah.
And then this country bloke just shat himself and fucking left. And then the boys are on free beers. It's his dad's pub. So that's coming out of your fucking retirement fund, you stupid cunt, you know? So the boys are up and about. We ended up having the best night ever from a completely horrific situation.
Fuck,
so
man.
It was great.
I can't believe someone tried to cancel him in Grafted. You know?
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Well, we got the fucking woke blokes out here. What's doing? You're telling me half the town is racist. Is the other half extremely progressive? I don't see that happening. So the whole thing was just a bit much, but
I can't believe the other boys were playing into it a bit, you know, like just trying to, keep the peace with the management in Grafton for round 2.
Yeah. Oh, well, the other thing was, the other little snag was we were staying at the pub. So there was nowhere to run after the show. Otherwise, I would have just as soon as I left the stage, I would have just run home.
Was the bloke of the owner having a bit of a laugh that you were telling his wife to shut up a little bit? Was he?
Yeah. He was cool. Because if he wasn't, I would it wasn't as aggressive as it started out aggressive, but if everyone wasn't laughing, I would have stopped immediately.
Yeah.
Because we're literally staying in the pub. Yeah. So unless you want to sleep on the bus, I probably wouldn't go too hard. But it ended up being great. And the owner loved it. He was like, you get what goes around comes around. That's what he said afterwards.
Yeah.
So,
Nice.
That's that.
And
my favorite part about that was that the owner's son thought that suicide was exclusive to Grafton.
Well, that was the thing. He was like, "Mate, out here, as if people in the city don't have mental health issues, But
only Pacific to Grafton.
It's just a Grafton thing.
Yeah,
no dramas.
Fuck. Oh man, and I wanted to touch on too, how you were talking about touring in comedy, and I asked a question earlier about where's the bulk of income come from comedies or touring or YouTube media or whatever. What's happening with Australian comedians at the moment? Because I feel like they're all of the new fellas or new blokes, there's a generation of you're in your 20s, aren't you, Darcy?
Yeah, I'm 26.
All right. You're older than me. I'm 22.
Geez. You look weathered, brother. Is everything okay?
Oh, fuck, man. I just haven't moisturized for a while.
No, I'm just kidding.
But yeah, the Friendly Geordies, the Isaac Butterfields, and those fellas, they've just seemed to, be right onto the YouTube. What's going on? What's happened?
Well, I mean, YouTube's just great.
Yeah.
They're just killing it on YouTube, so they just sort of lent into that. I don't know about Friendly Geordies. Some of these guys were YouTubers and then started doing stand-up or vice versa. So
yeah,
everyone's sort of got their own thing going on. But the real thing, these guys are doing it the right way, because if you can build up enough online presence, then you even if I think Isaac Butterfield doesn't make that much money on YouTube, or because he swears so much, they can't get the advertising money.
Uh-huh.
But don't quote me on that. But I'm sure he makes heaps of other avenues. But if you all the people watching his YouTube videos, if he's not making the money then, and I'm sure his videos are sponsored or whatever, but then when you say, "Hey, I'm coming to Grafton," now he's selling out 500 seats in Grafton. So even though the YouTube sort of seems like the be all and end all, all those guys tour heaps, and that's where they make heaps of money. So yeah, I'd still say it's probably still majority touring for the money coming in. But yeah, you have to speak to those guys. But yeah, that's really the whole point, of getting on TikTok or Instagram or whatever. because it's kind of like, it's a lot of extra work, you know, like most people just want to do stand-up. So if you can sort of build a following to a point where, you know, like I'm mates with Will Gibb. I don't know if you know him on TikTok, but yeah, he's hilarious. But he's just blown up like, you know, 350,000 followers or something. Like when Will Gibb tours or like whatever Will Gibb's doing, people are going to bloody come to it because he's got heaps of followers. So that's where I would say, even though it seems like it's all YouTube, I would say it's still, you get the money in the touring.
Yeah, right. Wow. Yeah.
That dude's that bloke in primary school who always lies and whatever, those types of videos, like they kill me.
Yeah, they're sick, dude.
Because they're always so like I was talking to my mate about it because he watches them religiously and he says they're just so spot on.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. I think that's, like that's kind of like a big, if you can say something from like your perspective and everyone's like, that is exactly the same in my life as well, there's just nothing better.
Yeah.
You know, but it's hard to do.
Have you had it go the opposite way where you've like recalled a memory thing, like trying to do that and then it's kind of gone, it's just not hit, you know?
Oh, dude. Yeah, big time. Like sometimes you go up there and I'm like, oh, I got this great little relatable anecdote, and then like 4 minutes later you've told it on stage and it's become apparent that it only has happened to you and you're actually quite a weird bloke for even bringing it up. So you're like, right guys, right? You know when you get your dick stuck in the vacuum, guys? Like, and then everyone's like, what the hell? So yeah, definitely.
That's it. That's why you get the badge for fucking bravery, man. Like going back to that at the start, you know, because like I feel, you know, with music, you can just fucking play. Everything's loud. You don't have to hear people, you know, laughing to get your cues from. It's like when you get off, people are like, oh, that was all right. And they're probably half deaf anyway because you've been blaring their eardrums. But you're up there all by yourself, man. And like, you have to kind of bomb, I imagine, to kind of get good at it, which would fucking suck, I reckon, and just make you just, you know, contemplate life sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's why it's good when you make some friends like at the start, because when you don't know anyone and you go to these open mics and then like I remember the first time I bombed really bad. It was like I couldn't breathe or something. It was like the air was taken from my lungs.
Yeah.
And you're just like having this experience and then like you just get the bus home by yourself and you're like, what the fuck am I doing out here, dude? Like, what is happening? But then once you make some friends on the open mic scene, and then like sometimes you'll be bombing and you can just hear your mates up the back going like laughing their heads off or like stuff like that. So, and then it's way more fun. And then, so once you make a few friends in the open mic scene, it's like way better. And you do, you know, build up a thick skin and all of that sort of stuff. Like,
yeah, man. I'd like it. Did you have like, it would probably make you funny pretty quick when you're just bombing.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really, at the start, you just need to bomb heaps just to sort of get a feel for it, because when you're doing an hour show by yourself, you need to be able to manage the energy in the room. So if you're like losing them, or like maybe you were too mean to someone or something like that, and you've still got 35 minutes to go, you need to get these people back, or, you know, be prepared to sit in it for like 10 minutes or whatever. Like you need to kind of like, your energy has to match what's required. Yeah. So you need to know when to, oh shit, I'm losing them. This next joke is dark as well. That's now out. We need to do this self-deprecating thing so they like me more. Or, you know, maybe I'm going really well for the first 20. Oh shit, these guys love me. I can say whatever I want. And then, oh, I've done a suicide joke. This guy does, like, people didn't like it. Let's bring it back a bit. So there's like a lot going on. You can't just do comedy in this way where like you're not always going to go well no matter what. So you need to be able to handle those situations. And even if you're doing like, you know, some nights you'll be doing your best jokes. And when you're at a festival, like I'll be doing like, you know, 7 shows in a row or 7 nights of my solo show. You might have like the show's the exact same every night, but like as far as my content, but it's like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Tuesday, Wednesday, killing it. Thursday, the exact same show, rough show. you know, for whatever reason. So, you know, all crowds are different. And, you know, a joke that got like killed the night before might get nothing tonight. And now we have to deal with this situation and, you know, manage it and make sure the show still rips, you know?
Yeah.
So it's all good experience.
Have you seen somebody just like fucking bomb like heaps? Like, you know, like somebody that like hasn't been able to break through and get the laughs?
You mean like just terrible comedians?
Yeah, terrible comedians.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Comedy is like anything. Like, yeah, some people are good and some people, you know, they're terrible, dude.
Yeah.
And then some people are terrible and then they get better. And then some people are terrible and they never get better.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like anything. I remember I went to LA a few years ago to do some gigs, and I was at like a couple of gigs in LA and then a couple of open mics. I remember thinking, because, you know, Los Angeles is kind of like one of the epicenters of stand-up in the whole world.
Yeah.
And then I remember thinking a few of the comedians on these shows, I was like, man, these guys fucking suck.
Yeah.
But it's like, just living in LA doesn't magically make you like the funniest comedian ever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, people suck everywhere. It's all just a skill, really.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, there's heaps of people that, have a tough time with it. And then even myself, like I'll have peaks and troughs and stuff.
Yeah. Did you meet any of the big guys when you're out there? Like, did you meet like, you know, Joey Diaz or like any of?
No, I saw heaps of them though, because I went. If you go to like the Comedy Store in LA, and just like on a Tuesday night, like the lineups are just crazy. Like you can see like Bill Burr, Joe Rogan, like all these guys for like $20, and so it was cool. It was such a good experience just to even watch them and just be like, these guys. It's like music again, where it's like it's different live. You can listen to a band like over and over again when you see them live, because I don't know, is this a common thing in the music industry? But I definitely know musicians I like that I don't particularly think they're that good live when I've seen them. And I also know musicians that I sort of liked, and then I saw them at a festival and they were so fucking good live. It was like a different thing. Comedy's like that as well. Seeing them live is completely different.
Yeah, like sometimes it either like make when you see that person and they're unbelievable in real life, it really makes it for you, and then goes the opposite way sometimes, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, it's a bit that way for sure.
Yeah. And we spoke briefly off the air about meeting like Andrew Schultz. What was that like?
Oh yeah. So this is not a bad little story actually. So Andrew Schultz was coming to Australia a couple of years ago. And I absolutely, like, he's like my hero. Love this guy. So, and I knew the agent that was touring him out. So I just called, like, I would never usually do this, but I just called the agent. I was like, dude, I have to open for Andrew Schultz. What do you reckon? And they were like, no. So I ended up just buying a ticket to the show with my mate Pat. And, you know, I was still so excited. So, like shows at like 7 on a Sunday. We get to the pub at like 2, just so excited, like just drilling piss all afternoon. Get in there, and what happened was, we immediately buy some merch, and then like we got like, I've had like 10 beers at this point. We get a beer in each hand. I got my Andrew Schultz t-shirt on. I'm in the second row. I may as well have like a little fucking foam finger. I'm just absolutely loving it, lads. I'm loving it, and I was so drunk, but it was kind of annoying because the show was running heaps late. Like he was supposed to be on at 7:30 and like, it's like 8 o'clock. And I was like, fuck, all right. So I'm like, what the hell? But don't really care, whatever. Anyway, so my phone rings and it's this agent. And he's like, I think he must have seen me there or something.
Yeah.
He was at the Factory Theatre in like the big room upstairs. So he was like, hey, Billy, how drunk are you right now? And I was like, 2 beers max. I've had like 14, but he's like, seriously, don't fuck this up. He goes, I need you, can you open for Andrew Schultz for right now? And I'm like, I'm so hammered. But I just think it's one of those things where even if I just think win, lose or draw, there's no way I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, come on, like, so he's like, mate, honestly, if you're too drunk, don't worry about it. I can get someone else. And I'm like, mate, shut the hell up. Who's telling you I'm drunk? You know, what's this rumor going around town? I said, no worries. I got this. And he goes, okay. he goes, security will pick you up in 2 minutes. You're on straight away and you're doing 15. And I am like hammered, and it's like 800 people at the factory. It's like, I was like, Jesus Christ. It was like one of those things where like, now that he said yes, I'm like, oh fuck, I don't know about this.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then, so next thing you know, I get a tap on the shoulder, security guard takes me backstage. And then now I'm just meeting Andrew Schultz. I'm like, oh, this is sick, dude. And he's like, thanks so much for doing this, brother. I'm like, please. I got a refund on the t-shirt I bought, which is pretty cool. And then, yeah, because I'm so drunk, I was trying not to like, give it away or whatever. Yeah. So one of the managers is there. I go, mate, could you get me 2 Red Bulls, please? I said, I'm really superstitious. Before I go on stage, I always like to have a couple of Red Bulls. It's just like one of my things. I never go on stage without a Red Bull. In reality, I'm thinking I just need to chug as much Red Bull as I can here to try and get something happening upstairs, I got nothing going on in the top paddock. So then next thing you know, I'm just like sculling Red Bull as quick as I can. And you just hear like, welcome to the stage. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. So then next thing you know, I'm just walking out to like 800 people blind. Like, this is just wild. Like, there's Red Bull all over my t-shirt. Like, just horrendous. And then, but I remember thinking as I walked on, like, dude, 0 or 100. Either this is going to be sick or I'm going down badly. But let's find out, So, and then I ended up having a great set. Like, I'm just like the first couple of jokes went well. And then I was kind of like, I was in it. I was like, this is great. And then some guy like heckled me and I was like, sort of gave him a bit of a serve. And then we're off to the races, so it ended up going so well. And I got to introduce him as well, which was so cool. Because like, when like you see, like sometimes you see comedians and their opener like clearly doesn't like their comedy or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're like, all right, coming up next, Andrew. Whereas, I'm blind. I was like, and I love everything about this guy. So I was like, in 1991, he went to this high school. Like I was going nuts on the intro. It's the best intro anyone's ever received. And then everyone's going nuts. And I like gave him a big high five. I was like, kill it, brother. And he was like, cheers, Billy. And I was just so blind. I was like, this is fucking rock star shit, Darcy. Like I was just loving it. So it was super fun. Yeah. But it could have gone so badly, but I think I was just lucky.
Dude, I think you're probably in a good state to do it in a way, like, because you've got your like, when you're in that, when you're fucked and you just kind of, it kills off the fear. Like then,
there was a bit of that.
Yeah. And also like, then you because you've got told you're going to do it. So kind of, you've got a very small time frame and you're also drunk. You're not going to be sitting there thinking, oh my, your thoughts are probably a bit slowed down, which is helpful.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I really had time to freak out. So it was good.
Yeah. And like, did you find that like, cause you were probably like, you're boozing, like you had that booze like confidence as well on the stage?
Yeah, I'd say a little bit, but
yeah,
I would say with comedy, it's not good to be drunk though, because like anything after 4 beers, I think you kind of like lose touch with the room a bit. Like I remember
everything, to be honest. But...
yeah, like I remember one time I got so drunk at an open mic, and it was like the Christmas show. Yeah. So like all the comics are there, everyone's just doing 5 minutes. We're all just like drinking, having the best time. And I came up like so drunk, like I was like, wow, how you guys going? What's going on? And I had so much energy, but I was like, I was a beacon of energy really. But once I started doing comedy, it was actually really bad. It was quite poor. Oh. So, and like, I was just all energy, but I had nothing upstairs. Yeah. And like my rhythm was all off. I was just like screaming. So yeah, I think it's really not good to do it drunk if you can help it. But when in doubt, you got to pull it out. So that's how it is.
What's that comedian from the 80s that would just like scream everything? Like the
Sam Kinison?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, was it like that or not quite there?
Well, the time at the open mic I was just talking about was like that.
Yeah.
I'm dating this girl. Like it was too much. And also I think when you're hammered, sometimes you think you're killing it.
Yeah.
But you're actually not like at all. Like but you just think you're the man. So it can be a bit up in the air.
Yeah. I think that goes for like anything too. When you're boozing, like you think you're killing it, doing whatever you do, and you wake up.
Oh yeah.
Fuck. That happened?
Yeah, 100%, dude. I had one on Saturday night where like this guy was playing music at this bar, and he was so good, and he like knew my comedy. So then he was like, "Oh mate, can you introduce me for one of my songs?" And like my introduction was pretty aggressive for the people in the bar. You know what I mean? Like, so I was, yeah. So it's stuff like that where you think at the time I was like, I am the biggest legend on planet Earth. But then like, because someone filmed it and then sent it to me, and it's just the worst, dude. And like you're kind of slurring a little bit, and like I thought it was hilarious, but it was just kind of aggressive. I just told everyone to shut the fuck up. Basically, it's kind of a bit much. But yeah, so I totally get that. Yeah, it's so embarrassing.
Oh man, that's the worst too when it's on when it's filmed as well.
Yeah.
And you can't argue with people too, because you're like, oh no, it wasn't that bad, and they're like, dude.
Yeah, I know. And it never looks good. It never looks good.
Man, it's like the ego just deflates.
When you've had
massively
vodka Red Bulls, dancing at a club, thinking you're fucking John Travolta.
Yeah.
Pulled out the phone. You watch it the next day and you're like, fuck. I look like an octopus that's been shocked with a fucking electric
thing. Dude, 100%. Well, I can't dance at all. So if any videos of me surface dancing, it's an immediate bad news bear. I remember I remember when I was 18, I thought like you had to go clubbing. And I was like, man, but I'm so bad at dancing. Like, this is just crap. But I was going clubbing like every weekend. And then I just started going to pubs and I was like, oh, this is a bit more my speed. But yeah, it's good. Like I pretty much wouldn't never go clubbing unless I was like just doing narcotics for some reason. Like, I just can't dance. I don't see it turning around.
Yeah. I'm with you there, man. Like I never got that scene unless somebody had a table where I could like sit down and pretend that I was, kind of cool in that little area.
Yeah,
it's not for me, man.
But also like, as far as like, if you're trying to get with girls, like, I'm an MP3 specialist. I need to be heard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My best feature is what's coming out of my mouth. So if you can't hear me, I really see no situation where you would ever even like me. So we may as well just sort of, tools down.
Yeah. And did you ever get a club hookup?
When I was 18, probably kissed a couple of girls on the lips. Sorry to get so blue on this podcast. But yeah, there was a couple of kisses.
Yeah, man.
But it's a bit racy, mate. It's a bit racy. I might have edited that.
Yeah. Out. Sorry. What time does this air? 7 p.m. Is it a family show?
Yeah, bro. The kids are in bed when this is out. Yeah, it's one of those things too. Like everyone looks so much better in the club than they do once you leave the club with them. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And, I don't know. I feel like clubbing is just like, it's its own thing. You know what I mean? And there's definitely a time and place for it. But like, if I'm going clubbing, I need to fucking go clubbing, if you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like plenty of petrol in the engine. Like I can't just go in after 4 beers and be like, pretend to be like, just turn into John Travolta or something. Like it's got to be pretty full on for me to go clubbing these days.
Fair enough.
I'm with you there, man. I think pubs is where it's at for fun.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah. Oh man. Have you got anything to add there? You're a club dude.
Oh god. They're not. It's one of those things where like you kind of go for social reasons because your whole group's going, but like you're not too fussed on it. So you kind of sit there on the side and just observe, and you're just like, this is fucked. Like,
yeah, a little bit. I used to love it when I was like 18, 19, and like all my mates were like promoters at different clubs.
Yeah.
And there was all like these lists, and you would have to like press going on these Facebook events and stuff. Yeah. But then like, so that was fun for like a bit, but then it's just like, whatever. Also, I'm not really that into dance music, to be honest. Like,
not really into Tiesto.
No, not really. The guy's selling too many more tickets than me. I'm too jealous of Tiesto.
Yeah, man. I'm jealous of DJs, to be honest. I think they've got the best gig, man. Like, because like they really just have to kind of, once they've got their mix there, they're just playing it and kind of adjusting the volumes to the room. I think DJs have got it good, man.
Yeah, I disagree because like some DJ sets are like 3 hours. You know what I mean? That's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like DJing has kind of moved on as well. Like when I was 18, everyone was a DJ.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you just didn't ask people. You could just look at their haircut and assume they were probably a DJ, you know, and that's how it was. And no one really questioned it. But now, if you told your mates you were becoming a DJ, you know, I'd have to call your parents and just sort of check in. You know?
You're not wrong, man. And DJs don't look the same as they used to. Everyone used to have that super bleach blonde hair. What's happening?
Yeah, it was a thing.
They like fucking Skrillex on steroids. Or
yeah.
I think everyone realized, because when I was 18, I'm a bit older than you boys, but when I was 18, so what's this, 8 years ago, everyone wanted to be a DJ. And then they were just playing at the clubs and they're like, you know, hooking up with chicks. They're like, oh, free vodka raspberries. This is sick. And then I think like if you have ambitions of doing anything past like playing a set at Scary Canary, it's like wildly aggressive hard work. Yeah. And you have to actually like care about music.
Yeah, yeah.
And then all of a sudden all these white guys are like, whoa, 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 what the fuck? No, not at all, you know?
Yeah.
So I think actually producing your own music and making it as a DJ is exceedingly difficult. And there was like just a few years where everyone thought it wasn't for some reason.
Yeah.
Like if you could set up a Facebook page, you could actually make it as a DJ. Like, and I don't know if they still do it. There was Your Shot, the DJ comp.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, I came 7th in Your Shot, get around me. And it's like, you know what I mean? There was just, everyone was delusional.
Yeah. All the DJs like I know have either disbanded it and become drug dealers or moved to the Shire.
Yeah. And that's all really, I mean, that's all the same conversation really. The Shire, drug dealing and DJs. That's like one of those.
It's a circle of life.
Yeah, that's like, you know, when you log in on some computers and it's like, can you pick out the 3 pictures of boats?
Yeah.
Like pick out the things that are related.
Yeah.
You pick those 3.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like they all go kind of hand in hand for those dudes. But you also said like 3 hours for a DJ set. And I remember the last time I was at the Argyle for fucking whatever reason I was there. And the DJ, I could see, because how it's laid out, I could see what the DJ's computer was doing. And they were fucking playing the slots.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like playing like digital fucking slot machine.
Yeah.
And then then they'll take a step back and just do a few there and go back to having a slap.
100%. You can tell DJing's bullshit because like celebrities can get in the DJ booth and if they just fist bump with some percentage of confidence, they don't look out of place. You know, Conor McGregor's in Vegas with Steve Aoki going nuts.
Yeah, yeah.
Conor McGregor walks out in the middle of the Killers set. What the fuck? You're just gonna be like, Conor, get out of the way.
Yeah, pretty much, man.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I do like sound for its job, man. And I was my boss and people around me that also do the same job, man. They've all done gigs at like other places and stuff. And I was talking to a guy the other day. He used to do sound at the Ivy. He's like, it's the easiest job in the world, man, because DJs would just literally come in, load the laptops up, and they would all just push play. They've all got it mixed in. So what your job is just to turn it up to the room, and they're the only thing that they're really doing is just moving the sound knob, and that's it, and just fist pumping and doing a few dance moves here and there.
Yeah, and fingering birds.
Yeah, that's it. That too. That's it.
Sorry, that was inappropriate. I apologize, but dude, yeah, I don't know.
Such is life, man. Yeah,
such is life.
Now, what? Before we start wrapping this up, man, like, what's the future look for you? Where are you going, man? Like, what have you got left on the bucket list?
Like related to comedy.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say I'd like to find love, but I wasn't sure if that was related to your question.
That's definitely probably something on the bucket list, man.
Yeah. No, for me, comedy, I just want it. This is a good question. I just wanted to sort of, I just want to get back and just do gigs like before COVID. Like comedy's back now, but you can do there's like 1 gig a week available really. Because there's still the same amount of comedians and there's like a quarter of the gigs. So it's it's a whole thing. But I just want to get back to, before COVID, I would do comedy like 5 or 6 nights a week. Sometimes I do like 10 gigs, and it was so fun. And it's so much more productive, like as far as like working on material and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I'm doing like 1 or 2 gigs a week now.
Yeah.
So to get to 10 gigs of working on the same jokes, you know, like it's going to take me, you know, 3 times as long. So like, I just want to get back to where it's like super productive. And my number one goal is just to make it my day job. Like that's my number one goal. I was kind of sort of close, like I was close to doing it before COVID, but now it's kind of like, it's going to be a lot harder, but that's my number one job yet. I'd say my number one goal would just be to do like comedy 4 or 5 nights a week and make like 50 grand clean and clear after everything.
Dude,
and just have it as your job.
You're so fucking humble, man. We ask musicians these questions and they're like, play Wembley Arena. Play Madison Square Garden.
Okay, well, I would also like to play Wembley, but I just know to play Wembley, I'm going to have to first earn 50,000 Australian dollars for the financial year. You know what I mean? Like that's my big goal immediately here. But then after that, I'd make no mistake. Once I hit that 50 grand, the following week I book Wembley. There's no gap in there. Okay.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I don't want you spreading it out there that I'm not an arrogant piece of shit, because I can assure you I am. All right.
Man, you got to get on Rogan as well.
Yeah.
I think if you're a comedian and you get on Rogan, are you fucking, you're set then? Hey, like I feel like that's.
Well, yeah, it's a huge thing. They call it the Rogan bump. Like everyone, whoever goes on Rogan, you know, immediately like your ticket sales get a boost, your podcast, whatever you do, gets a boost. But apparently, since he moved to Spotify, it's like nowhere near as big now. So like, I don't know what that says about his numbers, but apparently since he's gone to Spotify now, comedians are saying like, yeah, we went on Rogan, but like, it's kind of whatever now. It's not as big of a deal.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's sad.
But it's still a massive deal. I think he's still like the #1 podcast in the world.
Yeah, yeah. Now you're going to have to go on Logan Paul's.
Dude, I would totally go on Logan Paul's.
Yeah, dude, mad. I've gained so much respect for that dude recently, like watching.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, like I used to think he was a bit of a clown, but now I like actually genuinely like the dude. I have to admit.
I think he's thinking on cloud 9, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I think with podcasts as well, because Logan Paul has been on a couple of my favorite podcasts as a guest.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you just watch like a 10-minute YouTube video of someone where they're like, I don't know, going to the pool for the day or whatever, you know, whatever vlogs he does or whatever.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to get a feel for someone. But when they sit with someone for 2 hours just talking, like I reckon he's probably a pretty good dude, Logan Paul, from what I can tell. Seems like a legend, you know?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
And also, like, now it's like, I don't know, like, I'm an adult now. Like, for me to hate someone, you have to have done something pretty fucking legitimate.
Yeah.
You know? People are like, I don't like his hair, he should fucking die. And it's like, all right, dude, keep that on your side of the fence, you know?
Yeah.
It's too much, way too intense. You're going to die young with that sort of energy, brother. So, you know, he seems cool to me. I'm into it.
Too, man. Like and then the other brother, I don't want to say anything bad about because, you know, he could definitely bash me, man.
Yeah, well, I would say that I think Jake Paul is probably, I don't really like him, but I have watched his last 2 fights and I don't really watch boxing fights, like pretty much ever really.
Yeah.
So I thought, fuck, this guy, I'm watching boxing. There's obviously something about him, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I don't know. Once you get to like that level of success, I just feel like, who gives a fuck? You're telling me, like, people like Jake Paul is the biggest idiot on planet Earth. And it's like, what are you even talking? He's a multi-millionaire. And it's all, he made it all himself.
Yeah. Still like pay-per-views.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, exactly.
But the people that are saying Jake Paul is the biggest idiot in the whole wide world, man, are also, you know, still, you know, at home living with mom and, you know, just whinging because they're not, you know, doing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But once people like are so successful, just let him go nuts, mate. You know, like, good on him. Anyone who's got to that level of success, he's got to be doing something right.
Yeah, for sure. I think anybody, like, man, if you got like millions and millions of dollars, you know, I think it's fair to say that I think everyone would run wild for, you know, good probably 12 months or more.
Yeah, yeah, especially like 32-year-old blokes are like judging like 18-year-old rich kids.
Yeah,
like remember when Justin Bieber like crashed his Ferrari when he was like 18 or something?
Yeah.
Everyone's like, this kid's off the rails. And it's like, yeah, dude, he is off the rails. How fucking cool is this? Like, he's 18. He's like a billionaire. What do you want him to stay inside and drink water? Like, get a grip, you know? Wrapping Ferraris around telegraph poles. He's getting it done. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, I miss that, Bieber.
I think, what about this? You guys are in the music world. Does everyone seem to just like Justin Bieber now? Because remember, everyone would hate him for ages.
Yeah, man. And I feel like everyone hated him because we were all about the same age and every girl had a photo of him on her wall and not of us.
Yeah.
So I feel like that was the real reason. And the same with One Direction. When One Direction came along, everyone was like, fuck you. And then now I'm even like, yeah, Harry Styles is all right, you know, and all of those guys. But it was just because we were jealous because like little girlfriends in year 6 had their photos on the wall, not us.
Yeah.
Granted,
yeah, it's like Justin Bieber. I could beat the shit out of him.
That would be probably cause for concern.
Yeah.
More so than
I think so. Yeah, I think the Biebs is cool as well. I'm coming around on people these days.
Yeah.
You know? I'm just coming around. There's like 3 people I hate, and you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, like, I don't know how you could really hate someone you've never met.
Yeah.
Like, because, and also like, sometimes with comedy and stuff, like you meet people, and I've met comedians who, you know, I really was such a big fan of theirs, and then they were like pretty rude to me, or vice versa, where someone, I was like, oh, that guy, what a fucking hack. And he's so much more lovely than this guy I've been worshiping for the last 4 years, you know? So it's like stuff like that. You think, do I honestly know who Justin Bieber is?
Yeah.
Like you're out to lunch if you think you're like mates with the Biebs, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know. It's just, everything's so slippery. I just try not to take anything too seriously.
Yeah, I think I'm in the same boat with you there, man. Yeah.
All right, before we wrap this up, Bill, you got anything to promote?
Yep. So I did have a show, but it's sold out. But next year I'll be coming to all the major cities, not Darwin, get a grip. But yeah, I will be touring. It's Billy Darcy on all social media. And I have a podcast called Get Around Me that I do each week. And yeah, I got heaps of stand-up clips on YouTube. Check them out. I mean, yeah, what a time to be alive. That's it.